Imagine standing on the edge of a brand new year with the power to rewrite your story. The question is, will you carry the same habits, the same doubts, the same fears into 2026? Or will you finally embrace the rules that could change everything? There are moments in life when the world shifts. A new year is not just a date on the calendar, it is a reset button. And in 2026, you have the opportunity to take control of your future like never before. But to do that, you must understand a simple truth: success is not built by chance. It is built by rules. Rules that are not written in books, but in the way you live your daily life. Today, I want to share with you 5 rules that, if you live by them, will change everything in your life. Rule of self, discipline. Discipline is the foundation upon which every great achievement is built. Without discipline, dreams remain ideas, and goals never see the light of day. Think about it. We all know what we should do to get ahead. We know we should wake up early, stay focused, work on our goals, and push through challenges. But knowing is never enough. Discipline is the bridge between knowing and doing. It is the ability to silence the excuses that scream in your head and take action even when you don't feel like it. The truth is, motivation may get you started, but it will fade. Discipline, on the other hand, will keep you moving long after motivation disappears. The real challenge with discipline is that it often feels invisible in the beginning. You wake up early one day and nothing changes. You read 10 pages of a book and the world looks the same. You save a little money and your bank account doesn't feel different. This is why most people quit, because they cannot see the immediate results. But here is the secret: discipline is not about today's reward. It is about tomorrow's transformation. Every small act of discipline compounds, like drops of water filling a jar. One day you look back and you realize that the jar is overflowing, not because of one big act, but because of hundreds of small, consistent ones. Think about the people you admire. They are not superhuman. They simply built habits that became non-negotiable. They made rules for themselves, and then they followed them no matter what. If you want to write, you write daily. If you want to be fit, you show up at the gym even on the days when your body begs you to stay in bed. If you want to succeed in your career, you put in the work even when nobody is watching. This is discipline, doing what must be done without waiting for the perfect mood, without waiting for applause. Discipline is loyalty to your future self. But here is something most people overlook: discipline is freedom. It sounds strange at first because discipline feels like restriction. Yet when you practice discipline, you free yourself from the prison of regret. You free yourself from the pain of what if. You free yourself from the endless cycle of starting and quitting. When you practice discipline with your time, you gain the freedom to the life you want instead of being controlled by distractions. When you practice discipline with your finances, you gain the freedom to live without debt and stress. When you practice discipline with your habits, you gain the freedom of health, clarity, and peace of mind. The battle for discipline is not fought on grand stages. It is fought in the small moments of choice. It happens when the alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and you decide whether to rise or roll back into bed. It happens when you choose whether to scroll endlessly on your phone or spend that hour learning a new skill. It happens when you sit at your desk and decide whether to do the hard work or escape into easy distractions. Every decision builds your identity. Every choice either strengthens or weakens your discipline. And the truth is, no one can make those choices for you. The world can inspire you but only you can choose to act. In 2026, the rule of self-discipline will be the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. The year will not reward wishful thinking. It will reward consistent action. Success will not come to the one who hopes the loudest, but to the one who works the hardest day after day, even when no one is watching. Discipline will be your armor in a world full of distractions, your weapon against procrastination, and your compass when the path gets unclear. If you master yourself, there is nothing in this world you cannot master. Rule of adaptability. Adaptability is the skill that separates those who merely survive from those who thrive. The world is not slowing down. Technology is advancing at lightning speed. Industries are transforming overnight, and opportunities are appearing in places no one expected. If you remain rigid, holding on to old ways of thinking, you will be left behind. Adaptability is not about abandoning who you are. It is about adjusting your approach so that you can stay relevant and strong in a world that refuses to stand still. The ones who succeed in 2026 will not be the strongest or the smartest, but the ones willing to learn, to evolve, and to change when life demands it. The problem with most people is that they fear change. They want comfort, certainty, and predictability. But comfort zones are prisons. They feel safe, but they trap you from growing. Adaptability requires courage because it forces you to step outside that comfort zone and embrace the unknown. It means being willing to say, I don't know everything, but I am willing to learn. Those words are powerful because they open the door to reinvention. Every time you adapt, you are not just reacting to the world, you are reshaping your future. The faster you can shift your mindset, the faster you can turn challenges into opportunities. Think about history. Every great breakthrough came from those who adapted. Companies that refused to change disappeared. People who resisted new skills lost their place. But those who embraced change rose higher. The lesson is simple. What got you here will not get you there. The strategy that worked in the past may not work tomorrow. Adaptability is about staying humble enough to realize that yesterday's answers are not always today's solutions. If you cling too tightly to the old, you will miss the new doors that are opening right in front of you. Adaptability is not only about reacting, it is about anticipating. It is about keeping your eyes open, watching where the world is moving, and preparing before everyone else does. For example, if you see technology changing your industry, do not wait until it wipes out your job. Learn, upgrade, and position yourself ahead of the curve. If you sense the market shifting, do not wait for it to collapse. Adjust your strategy now. In 2026, adaptability will not just protect you. It will place you steps ahead of everyone else who is still trying to catch up. But adaptability is not just about skills or careers. It is also about mindset. Life will throw challenges your way that you never saw coming. A failed plan, a sudden loss, an unexpected setback. In those moments, adaptability is the voice inside you that says, I will find another way. Instead of being broken by circumstances, you bend with them. Instead of complaining about what you cannot control, you focus on what you can control. That is why adaptable people rarely stay down for long. They know that every storm is temporary, and if they stay flexible, they will come out stronger on the other side. In 2026, adaptability will be your greatest survival tool. It will be the key to not just keeping up, but leading the way. The ones who adapt quickly will seize opportunities that others cannot even see. They will grow while others remain stuck. They will rise while others fall behind. If you can embrace change instead of resisting it, If you can stay curious instead of clinging to certainty, you will discover that adaptability is not just a rule for success, it is a rule for freedom. Rule of focus, focus is the sharpest weapon you can carry into 2026. We live in a time where distractions chase us every second. Notifications ping, social media scrolls never end, and the voices of other people constantly demand our attention. Most people lose hours of their lives without even realizing it. But the truth is, greatness is never achieved by scattered energy. It is only achieved when you learn to direct your attention like a laser toward what truly matters. Focus is the ability to say no to everything that does not serve your purpose, and yes, only to what brings you closer to your vision. The tragedy is that most people confuse business with progress. They run from task to task, check boxes on a to-do list, and feel exhausted at the end of the day, yet they remain in the same place year after year. Why? Because they are working hard but not working focused. Focus is about doing less, but doing the right things with full intensity. It is about identifying the activities that will create the biggest impact in your life and pouring your energy into them. 100 scattered efforts cannot compare to one deeply focused effort executed with consistency. Focus is also about clarity. You cannot concentrate on something if you do not know what you are aiming for. That is why so many people feel lost. They are working hard, but they have no direction. Before you can focus, you must ask yourself, what do I truly want in 2026? What goals will matter to me 5 years from now? What vision do I refuse to give up on? Once you are clear on your destination, focus becomes easier because every distraction becomes obvious. If it does not move you toward your vision, it does not deserve your attention. Another truth about focus is that it requires sacrifice. You cannot chase 10 dreams at once and expect to succeed at all of them. You must be willing to let go of good things to reach the great things. This means sometimes saying no to friends, no to entertainment, no to comfort. Because your goal demands your full attention. That sacrifice may feel painful in the moment, but when you look back and see the results of your focus, you will realize it was never a sacrifice. It was an investment. Focus also has the power to accelerate time. What others may take years to accomplish, a focused person can achieve in months. That is because distractions dilute your progress, while focus multiplies it. Imagine pouring water into a sponge. It spreads everywhere. Now imagine pouring the same water through a narrow pipe. It shoots out with force. That is the difference between a distracted life and a focused life. In 2026, if you can train your mind to resist distractions, even for a few hours a day, you will outpace people who spend entire weeks chasing everything but accomplishing nothing. In 2026, focus will be the currency of success. The world will only get noisier, the distractions will only multiply, but the ones who rise will be those who master their attention. If you can block out the noise, if you can silence the unnecessary, if you can give yourself fully to one vision, you will create results that look impossible to those who are scattered. Focus is not just a rule, it is a superpower. And in the year ahead, it will separate the dreamers from the doers. Rule of resilience. Resilience is the rule that keeps your dreams alive when everything else tries to bury them. Life will test you in ways you never expect. Plans will fail, people will disappoint you, and circumstances will knock you down when you least see it coming. Most people give up after a few setbacks, but resilience is the quality that makes you rise again and again. It is the ability to look at failure in the face and say, "You cannot stop me." In 2026, Resilience will not just be useful, it will be necessary, because the road to success will not be smooth. It never is. But the ones who bend without breaking will always outlast the storm. The truth about resilience is that it is not built during the good times. It is forged in the difficult ones. It is easy to feel strong when life is going your way. But resilience shows up when nothing is working. It shows up when the deal falls through, when the opportunity disappears, when the door slams in your face. Those are the moments when resilience whispers, try again. Every setback is not the end of the road. It is only a redirection. Resilience teaches you to see obstacles not as walls, but as detours that eventually lead you where you are meant to go. Resilience also demands patience. Success is rarely instant. Between the starting line and the finish line, there are countless moments of doubt, fatigue, and frustration. Without resilience, you will quit in those moments, telling yourself it is not worth it. But with resilience, you keep moving even when progress feels invisible. You learn to trust the process, to understand that every effort is planting seeds you cannot yet see. In 2026, you must train your mind to accept delays, to endure difficulties, and to believe that perseverance will eventually pay off. Another part of resilience is perspective. Most people see failure as proof that they are not good enough. But resilient people see failure as a lesson. They ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of, why did this happen to me? That shift in mindset makes all the difference. It turns pain into growth, disappointment into wisdom, and setbacks into stepping stones. In 2026, the challenges you face will not break you if you decide to see them as training instead of punishment. Resilient people understand that every challenge is preparing them for something greater. Resilience is also about emotional strength. Life will hurt you, but you cannot allow the pain to make you bitter. You cannot allow rejection to make you doubt your worth. Resilience means carrying your scars with pride, not shame. It means refusing to let the hard times harden your heart. Emotional resilience is about controlling your response when life is unfair. You may not control what happens, but you can always control how you respond. That choice over and over builds inner power that nothing external can destroy. In 2026, resilience will be the quality that separates temporary winners from lasting champions. Anyone can get excited when things are easy, but only the resilient can stay committed when life gets hard, and life will get hard. But if you can endure, if you can rise every time you fall, if you can keep moving when everything in you wants to quit, then no setback can stop you. Resilience does not guarantee that the journey will be easy, but it guarantees that the journey will continue. And that persistence, that refusal to give up, is what eventually creates victory. Rule of courage, courage is the fire that turns ordinary lives into extraordinary stories. Most people wait for the perfect moment to act, believing that one day they will feel ready. But readiness is a myth. No one ever feels completely ready to take a risk, to step into the unknown, to pursue a dream. That is why courage is so powerful. It does not wait for fear to disappear. It moves forward in spite of it. In 2026, courage will be the rule that separates those who watch life happen from those who shape life with their own hands. Fear is natural. It is the mind's way of protecting you from danger. But the problem is, fear does not just protect, it also paralyzes. Fear whispers. What if you fail? What if people laugh? What if you lose everything? And most people listen to that voice. They let fear control their decisions. And in doing so, they kill their own potential. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act while fear is still present. It is standing at the edge of uncertainty and saying, I will take the step anyway. That single choice can change the entire direction of your life. Courage is also about breaking away from the crowd. Society has a way of pressuring people to play safe, to follow the rules, to live small. But the people who truly make a difference are the ones who dare to be different. They dare to stand alone, to pursue ideas that others call impossible, to believe in dreams that others dismiss. Courage is choosing authenticity over approval. It is saying, I would rather fail being myself than succeed by being someone I am not. In 2026, this kind of courage will be more important than ever because the world rewards originality, not imitation. Another part of courage is persistence. Taking the first step is brave, but continuing after setbacks is even braver. Many people gather courage to begin, but lose it when the journey gets difficult. True courage is not just about starting, it is about staying. It is about showing up again and again, even when progress is slow and the outcome is uncertain. Every time you choose to keep going, you prove that fear has no control over you. And that persistence, fueled by courage, eventually turns impossible goals into reality. Courage also demands faith. Faith not just in some higher plan, but faith in yourself. You must believe that even if you stumble, you will rise. Even if you fail, you will learn. Even if you lose, you will rebuild. Without this faith, courage cannot survive because courage feeds on trust in your own strength. In 2026, every bold decision you make will be rooted in that belief that you have what it takes to handle whatever comes your way. When you have faith in yourself, no fear can hold you hostage. In 2026, courage will be your passport to growth. The opportunities that could change your life will not come wrapped in certainty. They will come disguised as risks. You will either step into them with courage or watch them pass by while you hesitate. The choice will always be yours. Remember, this fear and courage will always travel together, but only one can drive your life. If you allow fear to lead, you will live safely but regretfully. If you allow courage to lead, you will live boldly and leave a legacy. Courage is not just a rule. It is the rule that makes all the others possible. Rule of giving back. Giving back is the rule that transforms success into significance. You can build wealth, status, and recognition, but if it only serves you, it will eventually feel empty. True fulfillment comes when you use what you have to lift others. In 2026, the most powerful lives will not be the ones that simply accumulate, but the ones that contribute. When you give back, whether through your time, your knowledge, your resources, or even your encouragement, you create ripples that reach far beyond yourself. Those ripples become your true legacy. The beauty of giving back is that it is not about how much you have, it is about how much you are willing to share. Some people wait until they are rich or successful to start giving, but giving is not about size. It is about spirit. A kind word, a moment of your time, a small act of support can change someone's day, sometimes even their life. When you practice generosity in small ways, it builds a habit of impact. And over time, those small contributions create something far greater than you could have imagined. Giving back also keeps you grounded. Success has a way of making people forget where they came from. They get caught up in their own world and lose touch with the struggles they once faced. But when you give, you stay connected to humanity. You remember that the journey is not just about climbing higher, but about reaching down to pull others up with you. In 2026, giving back will keep your heart aligned with your purpose and remind you that success is never just for you. It is meant to be shared. There is also a hidden power in giving. It multiplies. When you give knowledge, you do not lose it. You strengthen it. When you give time, you create deeper connections. When you give kindness, it often comes back to you in ways you did not expect. Giving is not subtraction, it is multiplication. It creates a cycle where everyone rises together. This is why the most impactful people are also the most generous. They understand that their greatness grows when they help others grow. But giving back is not always easy. It requires humility and the willingness to put others before yourself. It means sometimes slowing down your own race to lift someone else. It means sharing your wisdom even when it would be easier to keep it to yourself. It means choosing impact over ego. Yet this is what makes giving so powerful. It forces you to see beyond your own reflection and recognize the value of serving others. That perspective transforms not just the lives of those you help, but your own life as well. In 2026, giving back will be the rule that completes the circle of success. You can achieve discipline, adaptability, focus, resilience, and courage. But without giving, your story remains unfinished. The world needs people who rise and then reach back to help others rise too. When you give, you do not just change someone else's life, you change your own. Because in the end, success is measured not by how high you climb, but by how many people you bring with you. So as we step into 2026, remember these rules are not just ideas, they are choices. Discipline will shape your habits, adaptability will keep you alive in a changing world, focus will direct your energy, resilience will carry you through the storms, courage will push you beyond fear, and giving back will give your success true meaning. You already have everything you need to change your life. The only question is, will you follow the rules that can change everything? Because 2026 is not waiting. It is here. And it belongs to those who are ready to live with purpose, strength, and vision.